Hey guys, Sean here. Today, me and Luke will be doing a tier list on the best staples in Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's get into it.
Yeah, the categories are, of course, the best one is
Solemn D's Nuts.
Solemn D's Nuts. Next up is Harpy's Feather Duster, I Barely Know Her. Then you got Right Get Good, When the Skill is Drained, and you already know the last one, MST Negates.
Alright, so we have a good lineup here. Let's start with Raigeki. I feel like, just, out of respect, it should go on Raigeki Good.
Yeah.
It's a good card, it's at 3 now. It does one thing and one thing only, and it does one thing very well: destroy all monsters your opponent controls. It's good, but you can only play it going second. So I'd say it goes mid-tier.
Yeah, because a lot of people have ways to get around this. A lot of good boss monsters can't be destroyed by card effects and shit like that.
Exactly.
But Raigeki doesn't target, which is pretty good.
That's true. Yeah, that definitely fucks people up, especially me. So yeah, I think that deserves mid-tier. Book of Moon. This is a fucking classic, and it's still pretty good. It can still do a lot of really unique things. It's a quick effect. Target one monster on the field, set it to face down. If your monster's getting impermed, you can Book of Moon your own monster to stop it from getting negated. It can get rid of one of your opponent's threats, because if one of your opponent's monsters can't be destroyed by a card effect, you can just flip it face down and attack it in face down defense mode. And it just gets rid of its continuous effect on the field. So it's pretty fucking strong. I'd say it definitely deserves Harpy's Feather Duster, I Barely Know Her fucking tier. I think that's pretty good.
Really, I actually think it would probably be in Right Get Good, because it can be a bit situational.
I mean, that is true, and it's also one of those things where it's you can use it during your turn.
Yeah.
But I'd say probably top of Right Get Good. It's a good card, especially since it came out 20 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn good. Okay, here's a fucking good one. Lightning Storm.
Yes, fucking Harpy's Feather Duster, I Barely Know Her. Definitely.
Yeah, that is fucking true. It's like Raigeki on crack.
Yeah.
So definitely deserves its place. I mean, it is, again, purely a going second card. But as going second cards go, this is one of the best cards in the fucking game.
Yeah, it is very, very fucking good.
Okay, evenly fucking matched. This is a good fucking card.
I really fucking love this card. I don't know if it's as good or as... I put it in Right Get Good, because I don't think it's overly broken.
I'd say you're right, yeah, because you can negate it.
Yeah.
Because it's a going second card, and it's very strong. Obviously, its effect is really fucking good, especially against decks that use tokens, because you can just get rid of every single card in your opponent's field besides the token, which is really cool. But again, you have to be going second. It has to be done at the end of the battle phase, which is kind of an awkward timing to use the effect. So I'd say it goes in Right Get Good. Definitely the top of Right Get Good.
Yeah.
I'd say we have our first Solemn D's Nuts. I think Harpy's Feather Duster is one of the best cards in the game.
Yeah, easily. I'd actually put it up really fucking high.
Because even going against a deck that is, trap card or heavy spell and trap cards, it automatically destroys all them. But almost every deck in the game uses back row. Even if the deck is not like Elflate or not a deck that relies on back row, every single deck has a back row card, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least one that you want to get rid of.
Exactly. And the big influence on archetypes that are using field spells like Prank Kids, Tear Elements and shit like that. Harpy's Feather Duster takes care of the fucking field spell as well.
Exactly. I didn't even think of field spells. Field spells are so fucking prevalent in good decks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty. I think without a doubt this is the first Solemn D's Nuts.
Yeah, and the reason why it's above Lightning Storm is because Lightning Storm you need to control no fucking cards.
Yeah.
So Harpy's just fuck it, just do it, just wipe all of their goddamn spell and traps. So yeah, pretty fucking good.
Why the fuck not? Alright, next up is There Can Only Be One. So I kind of want to put in here any kind of floodgates Goes in Match and Rivalry of Warlords. So any kind of card that floodgate that stops your opponent from summoning certain types of monsters basically.
Yeah, or even Summon Limit can kind of fall in that category too.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of all this, I would say it's very meta dependent, because if a top deck uses a lot of different attributes, There Can Only Be One is not going to be very good.
Yeah.
But if the meta has all plants in a deck, like Rika's, then this just fucking destroys them. So I'd say either the top of Right Get Good or the bottom of Harpy's Feather Duster. Maybe.
I'd say Right Get Good, to be honest with you.
Alright.
Because some decks can play around it. I don't really. Yeah, I think it's like right get good, to be honest with you,
That's
because
fair.
not every deck can actually play them. You know,
That's
there's a few
true.
decks that kind of like they fucking shoot themselves in the foot if they have it.
Okay,
So
that's a very good point. I didn't even consider that. Almost all these cards you can play in any deck. Like literally all these cards you can just play in any deck. But this card, if you don't play like a proper deck to complement the card, you're gonna get fucked.
yeah, I agree. I put it there because it's not for every deck, but it is very fucking brutal in the decks that can use them.
It's very true. Okay, I think we have another Solemn These Nuts. Called by the fucking Grave. You can see a pattern here because these cards are both limited to one.
Yeah, honestly, I think Call by the Grave is probably one of the best fucking. I think
Cards.
every deck should fucking have one.
Yeah.
No matter what the deck.
It doesn't matter if you're combo or just like control or whatever. You just want to stop your opponent from hand trapping you or get rid of certain pieces in the graveyard. It's just a really fucking strong card. And, you know, it's limited to one for a reason.
Yeah, also it's like it negates the effects of that monster for the turn. So like even if you look back on our video of Dinos versus Cyber Dragons, I knew Overraptor was Sean's starter, so even Call by the Graving that was like good to stop him from doing something later on in the turn. So you can actually use this as a very versatile card to stop like starters and stop a bunch of different shit really. So I think this is essential for every single deck.
100%. Alright, Forbidden Droplets. This is definitely a really fucking strong card. I mean, I would consider putting it in Solemn These Nuts, but I also think that I might want to go on the top of Harpy's Feather Duster or How Do You Know Her?
Yeah, I think it's definitely top of Harpy's Feather Duster. Yeah, a lot of decks can utilize Forbidden Droplet very fucking well, especially decks that rely on the graveyard and get a huge benefit from the graveyard. Like most zombie decks, Shaddolls and stuff like that. I think even like a bunch of the meta shit like Branded Despia as well. So like I definitely think that it's definitely tailored for certain decks, but the decks that can use it very fucking well.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think like the fact that you can get rid of certain cards on your field as well as your hand is just so good because sometimes you don't want certain cards on your side of the field, and you can just Forbidden Droplets, get rid of the card on your side of the field, and just negate your opponent's card. So it's really fucking good, I think. Really versatile, gives you a lot of options. It's just a great fucking card. Alright, Triple Tactics Talent. This is a funny card. I
Yeah.
think we have a bit of a history with this card over here.
What can I say? I'm just so good at pulling the fucking thing. Yeah, I actually think I think it's really good. I think it could be better.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of stuck into your main phase. Like it only can go off if your opponent activates a monster effect during your main phase, which I think it's okay. But then when you have it in your hand, you start realizing how often your opponent does shit during your standby phase instead,
yeah.
which is so fucking like redoer and shit like that. But I definitely think it's very, very good, especially the fact that it has 3 broken ass effects. The draw too, I think is fucking amazing. I say right get good probably, just because it can be a bit bricky sometimes.
Yeah, it is like, it's kind of one of those going second cards that obviously you can only use it going second, but its effect is very strong but very situational. Like you can't activate this whenever you want. You have to rely on your opponent to do something, but the effect is very strong, so I'd say here for now.
Yeah.
Pot of Fucking Desires. What a fun card.
Yeah, you've been fucked by this card a few
Yeah,
times.
this is the first one I think we'll put in when the skill is drained, because it's
Yeah.
very brainless. It's very just like banish 10 cards on top of your deck, draw 2.
Yeah, there's no getting around it except for Ash or like Solemn or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, you're really gonna banish all your cards. It's like if you banish all your key pieces, you lose.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's just, oh, also you can use this in fucking bullshit decks like what am I forgetting?
Grand
Grand
Maju.
Maju. I forgot about Grand Maju. I haven't faced against Grand Maju in too long. So yeah, it's a very when the skill is drained type of card. Change of Heart. This card recently came off the ban list and everyone was like, holy shit, and no one fucking played it.
It was pretty much only banned because of fucking Link summoning, and honestly, like, I don't think it's a bad card. I remember when it first got unbanned, I was like, holy shit, that thing's so broken, because I didn't know that it had, like, at the end of the text it says, it goes bad to your opponent during the end phase. I saw you get to keep the monster, which you don't. It's basically better mind control, but
Yeah.
no one fucking plays mind control anyways.
Yeah. So I definitely would say, obviously it's like a good card, it's a powerful effect, but I'd say it probably was at the bottom of right get good. Solemn Strike. So this is the one that negates special summons and monster effects, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is pretty fucking good. You can pretty much like side this in against any matchup. It's just really fucking strong. At the cost of 1500 life points, you just like get to stop your opponent's special summons, which they're obviously going to do, and their monster effects, which is really fucking strong. So I say this definitely goes in Harpy's Feather Duster tier.
I couldn't agree more. There's not more I can add to that. I think you're right.
And I think we just, we have to put fucking Solemn These Nuts up in in Solemn These Nuts. What do you call it? It's the classic fucking Solemn card, right? It stops your opponent from summoning any monster and from activating spell and traps, which is like, it just says no.
Yeah.
The meme is accurate. It just says fucking no.
Yeah. It's the big nope card. You do not want to see this shit.
And like, even the cost of half your life points, like, who gives a shit? If you're playing this in a deck, you don't give a fuck.
Exactly, yeah. And it's not like one of these things where it's not like Solemn Warning or Solemn Strike where you have to pay a certain amount of life points. It's just half of your life points, so it's never a brick. You can always just fucking afford it.
Exactly, and if you're already low on life points, you're not losing that much.
Exactly.
So it's just really fucking strong. Definitely goes in Solemn These Nuts. Twin Twisters. This is a very fucking good card. Discard one card, destroy 2 spell traps on the field. It's just versatile. It's just a good fucking card. You can use it to destroy your own stuff or your opponent's stuff. Discarding a card can be helpful in certain situations. It's just a fucking good card. I'd say probably fucking Harpy's Feather Duster. I think so anyway.
I think it's good, but I don't know if it's the best. Honestly, I was going to put it in when the skill is drained.
Okay, I mean, I guess.
Do you want to compromise and put it in Right Get Good?
Here, yeah.
Because it's good, but like can be very situational, especially if you top deck it and that's like you're in top deck mode.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's happened way too fucking much.
Yeah, it's great because it's a quick play, but I don't know. I've come across a few situations where I fucked up with it, so.
And yeah, it's true. It is kind of a steep cost because you have to discard one card, which can be very like detrimental to destroy 2 spell and traps when you might only need to destroy 1. So it's kind of like, damn, why don't I have MST? Compared to the next card here, where you have to discard a card, Super Poly. Now this shit is fucking Solemn These Nuts. Like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, what puts it in like Solemn These Nuts is the fucking line of text that says you cannot respond to it.
Yeah.
I think. Honestly, I don't know how to fuck this thing's at 3, but I'm so glad it is.
Yeah, and there's just so many good targets. And the fact that like Dark is such a prevalent type, you can just go into so many. You can just break people's boards by just using one card. It's fucking hilarious, and it's just so good. Like, not only are you breaking your opponent's board, like you're Raigekiing them, and you're getting a fucking big monster from your extra deck. So it's just a fucking amazing card. And even with the new Garuda, the new Super Poly target, that when it's summoned or that when it's sent to the grave you draw a card, it just makes it even fucking better.
Yeah, so, even with like King of the Swamp was like the fucking go-to for ages, but now it's getting even more support with this shit.
Fucking insane. I will miss you when you're gone. That should have been a fucking tier. Miss you when you're gone.
Oh yeah.
Alright, Pot of Extravagance. Jesus Christ. I feel like Get Good because a lot of the decks that play this don't need their extra deck, like Flandreese or Eldritch. So fuck that. Also, it's the same problem as fucking as Desires, where you're just gonna banish all your good cards and then cry yourself to sleep. So also you can only activate during the start of your main phase, which is an awkward kind of effect. That's just what I think.
I think it's definitely better than Pot of Desires. I put it at the top of when the skill is drained because like it's just awkward timing. It's a hefty enough cost.
Yeah.
It can be stopped. It's very, very good, but I don't know. It's not really necessary if you get me.
I get you. Yeah, that's true. Dark Hole. Fucking love Dark Hole. I mean, it's basically Raigeki, but you can play multiple.
Well, you can play multiple Raigeki now.
Oh yeah, you can. Fuck.
Well, like, you're just a Dino player, so you know yourself.
I am a Dino player, yeah. So being able to destroy your own monsters, not many decks can benefit, but decks that can benefit from destroying your own monsters, such as dinosaurs, really like this card because you can just destroy you can Raigeki your opponent and then, plus off it, gain fucking monsters from it. So I'd say, I mean, it has to go under Raigeki, I guess, because it's just like, not as many decks can play this as this. So I say this is fair. Dark Ruler, definitely one of these 2 tiers. What do you think?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
Yeah. I don't like it because it kind of reminds you of Soul Charge in the sense that your opponent takes no fucking damage after it.
Oh, that is an issue, yeah.
And like, although it's great, it's a spell speed 4, I'd put it maybe at the bottom of Harpy's Feather or something like that. Because it's very, very good. But I don't know, you can't put it in OTK decks, so that's what's kind of like throw me off.
Yeah. I mean, what about the combo of Dark Ruler to evenly matched?
I mean, that's pretty fucking good.
That's a combo right there.
That is a very good combo.
Alright, we have Crossout Designator. So unlike Called By, Crossout is legal at 3, but it takes a lot more to use it. You need to have the hand trap or the card that you don't want your opponent to use in your deck. You need to banish it, you can't activate that card for the rest of the duel, and they just get the card negated. It's a good card, don't get me wrong, but it's just very, like, you have to really have the cards that your opponent has, which is really fucking awkward. So I'd maybe put it here, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. Honestly, I never fear this card because everyone I played against that uses this card never plays it fucking properly.
It's a very master duel card.
Yeah, maybe
anti-maxi fucking card.
Yeah, maybe that makes sense. Anti-maxi sort of card, but if you play Nexus and someone drops this fucking card, don't fear. They're probably gonna do it wrong.
We're gonna quickly move. There can only be 1 to 2 when the skill is drained, simply because it honestly does not take much skill to flip a Floodgate.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Alright. So, Mystic Mine. And Mystic fucking... Okay, Cosmic Cyclone.
Fucking love this card.
It's a great fucking card. It's definitely, I'd say it's probably better than Twin Twisters.
100% it is, yeah.
The cost of 1,000 life points doesn't fucking matter. Banishing your opponent's spells and traps, fucking great, because a lot of spells and traps in the modern game have graveyard effects. So I'd say definitely one of the top 2 tiers.
I honestly, I would put it in some of these notes. I think it is very essential. I try to run it in most decks that I can, because especially when you're looking out for decks that like have spell cards that are limited, or you know they only run one of it. Like for example, I'm speaking mostly as a TCG player. Fucking Sky Striker Mobilize Engage is limited to 1.
Yeah.
So although it's not negating their search, you are banishing it, so they can't fucking like recycle it with Kagari or use multi-roll to get it back and get it like to work again. I think it's also great against Dragon Maze, because when they're using their fusion spell, most Dragon Maze decks only run 1 of that fusion spell. So if you could just chain Cosmic Cyclone, although you're not negating or stopping the fusion, you're stopping them from like recycling it from its fucking own effect. So I think Cosmic Cyclone definitely saw in these notes.
Makes sense. I agree with all that. Alright. Yeah, you know why. Don't even fucking ask. It's skill drain. It's the meme. It's awesome.
You know what? I fucking dare you to call us out in the comments. Fucking do it. Go on. See what fucking happens.
All the skill drain fanboys fucking crying. Fucking very sad. Alright, we got here Dimensional Barrier. This is a card that saw a lot more play when Despia got popular. And honestly, it should have saw play beforehand, because like there was always decks that, you know, focused around one type. Yeah, it just basically negates the effect. It stops your opponent from summoning and negates the effect of a certain extra deck type that you declare. So like, if you declare Synchro, your opponent can't summon Synchro monsters, and the effects of Synchro monsters are negated. It's really fucking good, especially against like, a lot of modern decks are very like kind of, they focus on one extra deck type. So obviously Branded is Fusions, Sword Soul is Synchro. It would be good against Sprites as well, stop your opponent going into the gigantic Sprite XZs. So it's just a really good card. I'd say probably goes in Harpy's Feather Duster tier. Maybe like here, something like that. That's what I think. What do you think?
It's kind of hit or miss. What I do like about it, especially using it against Branded, is because you're not negating the actual Branded fusion, and then if you call out fusion using a Dimensional Barrier, your opponent just can't use the extra deck then, because they're locked into fusions, but they can't go into fusion because you used it.
Yeah,
so
cool.
It is very fucking powerful against certain decks. Although like a lot of decks have like a diverse extra deck in the sense that they have links, they have synchros, they have whatever the fuck. Like, it doesn't really matter. I still think it's very good because you're definitely stopping the boss monsters they really want. And as you mentioned earlier about like Sword Soul being like synchro focus and all the other stuff, Yeah, I think Harpy's Feather Duster, it's definitely a side deck card. I think in every side deck I'll ever make, I'll always make room for this because it's just that fucking good.
Tier Elements as well is something I should have mentioned.
Oh yeah.
Hooks up Tier Elements real good. So, fucking great card. Alright, probably the best pot card, Pot of Prosperity. I think it goes without saying that it's on these nuts, right? It's like the best combo card. It's good in other decks, so you can just get like, control cards like Floodgates and shit.
Yeah, it's also not as restrictive as like Extravagance is.
You can choose the extra deck cards you send or you banish.
Exactly,
and it's
yeah.
really fucking good. The only problem is that you the battle damage you do to your opponent that turn is halved. So again, it's another one of those cards that stops OTKs. But you're gonna use it in a going first combo deck or in a stall deck that tries to get important key pieces. So I just think it's one of the best cards ever fucking made.
Yeah, or just play Cyber Dragons. You're gonna deal 20,000 damage to your opponent anyway, so like might as well.
God damn it. And finally, Solemn Warning. So basically, for the cost of 2,000 life points, when a monster will be summoned or a spell and trap card with special summon a monster, you can pay 2,000 life points to negate the effect. So it's just a very it goes between Solemn Strike and Solemn Judgment. For the cost of 2,000 life points, it's a bit of a steep cost, but it's not too bad. I'd say, people don't use it that often, but it is a counter trap which is strong. It definitely goes above Right Get Good, but probably at the bottom of Harpy's Feather Duster, maybe even at the top of Right Get Good.
Yeah, I think of more at the top of Right Get Good. It's not overly powerful, like 2,000 is a bit steep, especially if you're running very low on life points.
That's true.
Especially against these fucking burn decks.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. So yeah, I'd say this is pretty good. So any adjustments here? I think for the most part, this is pretty good.
I would think Called by the Grave is the best fucking card.
Probably.
So I'd put that a bit higher.
I think you're right.
I'd move Super Poly above Judgment, to be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well.
I'd move Strike above Dimensional.
To be honest. Yeah. Alright, so there is the list. Let us know if there's any cards we left out here. Let us know what you think. Do you think these tiers are correct? Let us know.
Yeah, fight me, you skill drain fucking fanboys.
If anyone defends the bottom tier, go fuck yourself.